So this is an example of another vermicomposting home. I've used a normal clay pot. You can see it's actually elevated from the ground, and there's a little container at the bottom to capture any worm liquid, which is also a great addition to your garden. So what is also nice is to locate it in a place that is pretty shady, it's cool, it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. If you do get a lot of sunlight over it, just make sure there is a cover at the top. So we're going to have a look at our vermicomposting home inside. So here we are inside our vermicomposting home. I have actually used a dark colored cloth to keep the place cool, dark. Once we peel back, that's the layer of egg carton that we have from the last time. So today what we're going to do is, maintenance wise, what we're going to do is we need to feed our worms. You can see pretty much a lot of the food that I've given the last time have been digested. So when you maintain your worm bin, just make sure you don't overfeed your worms. Normally what they say is, as you start out, the worms pretty much eat half their body weight in a week. But if you feel that your worms have established inside your worm home, you can actually feed them to the equivalent of their weight. For me, because this is home vermicomposting, I'm not too fussed about calculating. The main thing is when I check on it once a week, if there's not much food left, I'm going to introduce and give them something. So today, what's on breakfast is I have some mango skins. You can give them pretty much a lot of your kitchen scraps, but most important thing, don't give them things like meat, dairy, oily stuff, and also citrus. No citrus, no garlic, no onion. So what I usually like to feed them are actually fruits, fruit peels. When I'm in the mood, I've got extra papayas, I actually cut up some papayas for them. So you can see I usually don't overcrowd the food also. I try to put it into half of it, because when the food decomposes, it generates heat. Sometimes the worms don't like it, they will migrate towards the back. If you overcrowd the whole place, they have no place to keep cool. So another thing is great when you maintain your wormy home is worms don't actually have teeth. So how do they digest the food? They need a bit of grit. So how do you introduce grit to for your worms are actually this. These are actually eggshells that have been blended up. So give a bit of sprinkle to it, like just salt and pepper, and this will also help them in their digestion. Okay, once we have put enough sufficient food for our worms, I just like to cover it up. We've got our egg carton here, cheap alternative, don't really need to pay so much to get it. Just buy a tray of eggs every time, put it on top, and because our egg carton is still relatively dry, we need to moisten it up. So always have some ready water if you can. Good idea to use rainwater because it doesn't have any chlorine. Okay, and then just have a quick check on your cloth also. If it's still damp, it's fine. If it's dry from the last time, you can also moisten it up with a little bit of the water. Okay, so just put a bit more water for them. So great way. It's not very difficult to maintain a vermicomposting for your home. This is the same setup that we have introduced in our previous video using the plastic. Same concept. We have the wire mesh all the way at the bottom, and I have actually put banana trunks right up to halfway. Then you have your coconut husks, and then you have your shredded carbon and everything. Wait a couple of days before you introduce your worms, and once your worms are there, keep feeding it. So what's next is the worm cycle is about 30 days where they reproduce. I normally like to come back about 60 days onwards, and I can start harvesting my vermicast. Happy growing!